Most people think intelligence is something you're born with, like blue eyes or curly hair. You either have it or you don't. But here's the truth. Intelligence isn't a gift. It's a choice, a decision you make daily. The sharpest minds in history weren't born brilliant. They trained in silence, they built habits, they sharpened themselves like a blade, every single day. And today I'm going to show you exactly how they did it. Mastering boredom. The first secret, they master boredom. Now think about this. When was the last time you sat still in silence, with no phone, no music, no scrolling? For most people, that's unbearable. We've trained our brains to chase dopamine, to crave stimulation every second. But the truly sharp minds, they train themselves to sit with boredom, to focus when everything in them wants distraction. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men alive, spends 5 or 6 hours a day reading and thinking. To most people, that sounds boring. But that boredom is where clarity is born. So next time you feel restless, don't run to TikTok, don't run to Netflix. Sit in it. Push through the silence. Because the ability to stay present in boredom is the foundation of focus. And focus is the foundation of intelligence. Questioning everything. The second secret is this. They question everything. And know not to rebel, not to argue, but to understand. Think about children. They ask why 1,000 times a day. Somewhere along the way, adults stop asking. We accept the world as it is, but the sharpest minds never stop questioning. Elon Musk didn't just ask, how do we make cars better? He asked, why can't electric cars be fast, beautiful, and affordable? That single question birthed Tesla. So ask yourself, where have you stopped questioning? Your job, your habits, your beliefs. Sometimes one honest why can change the entire direction of your life. Reading with purpose. The third secret, they read like warriors train. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, read daily. Not to impress others, but to live better. That's the key difference. Today, people brag about reading 50 books a year, yet they can't recall a single lesson that transformed their life. Reading isn't about volume, it's about application. Picture two people. One reads 5 books in a year and applies the lessons to improve their health, mindset, and finances. The other reads 50 books but applies nothing. Who's sharper? The one who applied. Always. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's partner, once said, in my whole life, I've known no wise people who didn't read all the time. None. 0, so don't read to look smart. Read to arm yourself for life. 1 book, 1 lesson, applied consistently. That's how wisdom compounds. Reflecting before reacting. Here's another principle. The smartest minds reflect before reacting. Have you ever noticed? The quietest person in the room is often the most intelligent. Why? Because they're not rushing to speak. They're thinking 3 steps ahead. In chess, amateurs move fast. Masters take their time. Life works the same way. Someone insults you. Most people react instantly. Anger, sarcasm, ego. But the sharp mind pauses. It asks, if I react this way, what happens next? That pause is intelligence in action. Marcus Aurelius, one of Rome's greatest emperors, ruled with calm in the middle of chaos. His writings show he constantly reminded himself, pause, reflect, control your emotions. And you can practice this too. Before you answer that text, before you argue back, before you fire off that email, breathe. Create that tiny gap between reaction and response. That's where wisdom lives. Auditing their circle. Finally, the sharpest minds audit their circle. Because energy is contagious, and intelligence dies in rooms full of noise. Think about the people you spend the most time with. Do they challenge you, inspire you, push you higher? Or do they gossip, complain, and drag you down? There's a saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Steve Jobs surrounded himself with people who pushed him, not yes men, people who challenged his vision, sharpened his ideas, and made him better. That's why Apple innovated the way it did. You don't need to cut everyone off, but you do need to be intentional. Spend more time with people who sharpen your blade, and less with those who dull it, because who you surround yourself with will either fuel your growth or kill it. Conclusion. So here's the truth. Intelligence isn't about how fast you think. It's about how deeply you train your mind. It's about mastering boredom, questioning everything, reading with purpose, reflecting before reacting, auditing your circle. Do this consistently and intelligence stops being a gift. It becomes your decision. So ask yourself right now, which one of these 5 will you start practicing today? Drop it in the comments, because putting it in writing is your first step toward living it. And if this resonated with you, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more insights, and share it with someone you know is ready to sharpen their mind. Because remember, the sharpest minds train in silence. The only question is, will you?